Social media is changing the business landscape and in particular the communications landscape in a number of important ways. We're seeing old media start to devolve, we're seeing newspapers and other publications of traditional nature going out of business, and social media outlets picking up a lot of the attention and activity and the information providing functions of those media as they go. And we're certainly seeing a lot more advertising moving in that direction. As such, we're seeing new powerhouses emerging on the media landscape, such as Twitter, Facebook, and all that change. There's a lot of confusion, both within clients, for consumers, and for media professionals themselves. As we see the movement toward smaller, segmented, and more mobile communications, there's a lot more empowerment of consumers to talk about brands, to spread news, and to make waves of their own in the media space and become media celebrities of their own right. Certainly we've seen that with mom bloggers, we've seen that in technology, in a lot of other spaces, and now we're seeing it with news being broken on Twitter and a lot of other interesting trends that are breaking all the time. Certainly digital talent is and has been in short supply, and so that's a trend that has only been accelerating with the rise of social media. At the same time, digital is driving more money into advertising, into agency selections, and into some of the decisions that companies are making. So there's an acute pressure point being felt there, and one of the larger questions that the industry still has is how can we measure this and what's the ROI on it? And that's certainly something that has made some progress over the last year or two, but needs to continue to be further defined. Business and communications are going through a dramatic transformation. We're seeing the consumer much more empowered and much more able to control the tone, whether it's about branding, whether it's about news, whether it's about popularity and even celebrity. Consumer, through those conversations, through their communities and through their content, they decide whether a product or a brand is distinct or whether it's going to go extinct. And so we, as marketers, need to leverage passion points, leverage online influencers, and move beyond simple connections and fans and some of the measures that we have now into meaningful movements between brands and people, real alignment based around that passion point, and we call this movement Influencer Activism Marketing, or IM. Four key components to influencer activism marketing are what we refer to as the 4 C's: conversation, community, content, and conversion. Conversations obviously are at the heart of all social media. They're at the heart of Web 2.0, blogging, and all the empowering technologies that are spreading across the web to allow people to share their thoughts in a real-time fashion. So through influencer marketing, word of mouth, buzz building, we can gain insights, we can listen, and create authentic, credible conversations between consumers and brands. Community involves deciding on the appropriate platform for the audience we're trying to reach, for the brands that we're representing, and for the messages that we're trying to encourage. And so we know communities, we know how to build them, create and manage standards, create applications for them, as well as to keep an eye on our next C, which is the content. Content certainly has been king as long as the internet has existed, and even before, and we may not have called it that then, but it has been there. And this content has shifted largely from professionally generated, very high gloss, high standard content into simpler, more transparent and open and real and easily created and transmitted content. And so we have a suite of tools that allow MS&L studios to help create that content for all those conversations and those communities. And finally, it's very important that we deal with conversion. Obviously, it's nice to create all this activity, to create conversations, but ultimately we're trying to create business advantage. And so whether it's through sales, whether it's through insights, whether it's through brand building, it's very important that there is a conversion element as part of every campaign. And we work very hard to identify that and then reach those goals. MS&L Digital is a great partner for brands who are ready to embrace and move into the new social conversations taking place. And we can also educate and bring people along who are at a little slower pace. We feel like there's different times for entry and there's different times for learning. But certainly our core message is that as today's marketplace is redefined by the impact of technology and innovation and societal change. It's a fundamentally business-altering change for us, and we embrace that. We want to help navigate for our clients and help them to move forward. It requires a new logic, and we feel like MS&L is going to be the leader in this evolution through championing communications innovation and being the crusader of transformational ideas. And we want to help transform our clients' businesses to be ready for this new age.